Hello, my name is Vivian with VP3 Arenda, and for those that do not know where I got my VP3 Arenda name from, the VP3 is from Vivian's Posh and Pixie Parlor. That's how I started breaking free from my shyness and caring what other people thought, was selling Posh on Facebook. So I have a lot of masks and stuff left from that. So while I was doing a mask, I figured I would share a message that I think was a pretty good one. It's from the Pleiadian Prophecy 2020, The New Golden Age. It's channeled by James Carwin. It's a message that I read. I read this book several months ago, and it's a message that I had found myself coming back to when talking to other people or talking about beliefs or opinions or whatnot. And I found myself thinking of it today, so I went ahead and decided to share the message on a video for anybody else that might decide to listen to this. It is kind of a long message, so. And bear with me, there's some words that I'm kind of nervous about trying to pronounce. Angels and demons. Allow us to clarify some misunderstandings about the heart chakra and the ego chakra. Your spiritual communities believe that the heart chakra is the key to enlightenment. They put the heart chakra on a pedestal while rejecting the ego chakra as bad or wrong. We strongly disagree with this belief system. The ego is the aspect of you that feels deserving, worthy, and entitled to anything it desires. When you operate out of balance with too much heart and neglect of the ego, you can become too humble, too low in self-esteem, and feeling undeserving of your desires. People on your planet who operate with too much heart often find themselves exploited by others. They become unable to refuse service to others and will often put the needs of others before their own, even if they feel exhausted and run down. We do not see this as a healthy or positive mindset. When you are in balance with both your heart and ego aspects, you can then play on an equal basis with other beings, giving and receiving service equally. This is the key to mutual pleasure and the basis for spiritual societies. This is the direction we see you moving in, and your year of 2017 will highlight the worldwide beginnings of this movement. Ultimately, there are only two sensations that exist in creation: pleasure and pain. Love is the emotion that follows pleasure. Fear is the emotion that follows pain. These two sensations are respectively associated with the male and female aspects of creation. The heart chakra wants to be loved. The ego chakra wants to be feared. These are the polar forces of creation. An angel, by our definition, is a heart-centered being, one driven to nurture, heal, and elate others, one who enjoys being a source of beauty and pleasure in order to receive love and affection in return. Women physiologically embody the heart. This is partly why women grow breasts. The heart chakra is located in the chest area. A bigger chest physiologically symbolizes a bigger heart. Femininity is stereotypically associated with beauty and love. Female bodies are designed with the creative ability to birth, nurse, and raise life. In general, women excel at romance, at kindness, at bringing and uplifting life, service to others. A demon, by our definition, is an ego-centered individual, one who desires power and status over others, who uses pain in order to elicit fear and submission and to lower the state of others in order to exalt in its own by contrast. When you shut down the heart chakra and fully concentrate your consciousness on the ego, you effectively become a demon. Males physiologically represent the ego. This is partly why males have bigger genitals. The ego chakra is located in the genital region. A bigger genitalia symbolizes a bigger ego. It is for this reason that men are designed with greater physical strength, stature, and power. In general, men excel at war and destruction, aggression and domination, service to self. You can see the contrast in these polarities. The angel or female is the creator of life. The demon or male is the destroyer. These definitions apply to men and women only in extreme cases of polarization. We acknowledge that most men on your planet are not demonic, and most women are not exactly angelic. Extreme polarization does not occur in most realities. Societies with the utmost health are ones that are in balance with their male and female aspects, where all individuals are equally empowered with masculine strength and equally nurtured with feminine love. We do not suggest putting feminine energy on a pedestal, dear friends. The desires of the heart chakra can be generous and noble, yet you can observe on your planet alone that women are often the gender riddled with the greatest amount of self-love issues. Women often find themselves dependent on others for love, validation, and assurance. They sometimes sacrifice their health, comfort, and truth in order to feel accepted. When you neglect your ego, your male chakra, you may find yourself dependent on sometimes subservient, however you say that, bending to the will of others in exchange for love or survival. We advise you to not neglect or devalue your ego. In moderation, the ego is your source of dignity and self-empowerment. There is equal value and divinity in both the feminine and masculine aspects of creation. The heart chakra is the key to world peace, yet it can be unpredictable. Empathy is a double-edged sword. When your heart is open to someone, you assimilate their feelings. You feel what they feel. You can achieve a variety of experiences vicariously through other people via the heart chakra. You do this when you watch a movie and experience highs and lows of emotions vicariously through the characters on screen. There are some women who have achieved great satisfaction through the heinous actions committed by their partners. Believe it or not, you can actually use the heart chakra to nurture the dark nature of certain people and derive pleasure from the nefarious crimes they commit. Just as a father can live vicariously through the athletic victories of his son, so too can seemingly sane and innocent people live vicariously through dark and sadistic individuals. What you use your heart chakra to connect with is up to you. Balance is not about androgyny. You are not suggesting that a man must surrender his masculinity or that a woman must surrender her femininity. Each of you are a composite of three different aspects: a mind, a body, and a soul. Each one of these aspects has its own gender, so to speak. From our perspective, you each have a mental gender, a physical gender, and an emotional gender. Some humans on your planet may have a physical gender that is male, yet they may undoubtedly have a mental identity that is female, yes? One can achieve a balanced emotional spiritual aspect without compromising their mental or physical gender. Your mental gender or gender identity is not affected by being in balance. The aspect that must come into balance is the soul, the spiritual, emotional gender. When your emotional aspect is in balance, you are not aggressive and domineering of others, nor are you passive and submissive to others. You are assertive, you get what you want without harming others or allowing others to harm you. This is the key to humanity's salvation and ascension. To be assertive is to be in balance. You can be assertive and still have a masculine or feminine personality. When humanity dons an assertive mentality, you will an assertive mentality. I don't know how to say that. You will not be easily controlled by others. To us, being an aggressive person is just as negative as being a passive one. This is why aggressive and passive beings tend to meet. Winners always find losers. Masters always find slaves. Your world is heavily submersed in these scenarios. If you wish to emancipate yourself from these negative interactions, you must become assertive. The more that each of you individually become assertive and establish positive relationships based on mutual respect with all others, the sooner you will dismantle the hierarchical, superior-inferior structure of your society and establish a society that is based on harmonious equality instead. Male energy is aggressive. When a world is overflowing with male energy, this typically creates a world driven by competition. Wars thrive endlessly until there is only one man standing or until the world is completely destroyed. When ego-based individuals interact with each other, they typically tend to compete for power and domination of all goods and resources. Conversely, female energy is passive, and when a planet is overflowing with this energy, it often becomes cooperative and peaceful. There's little to no competition, and the world is driven by the sharing of goods and resources. However, when too much passive energy is flowing, reality can easily become uneventful. Passive civilizations are also more prone to invasion and conquest by others. Believe it or not, most souls do not stay in utopian realities for long. They easily get bored. Most souls throughout creation prefer some degree of trauma and challenge to spice up their existence. Having problems to solve can be stimulating and fun. Therefore, a healthy balance of male and female energy is most often preferred. This is why the fifth dimension is so popular. We will further discuss the fifth dimension later on. While most souls prefer to have a friend instead of an enemy, there are countless souls who generally prefer the enemy experience, the battle, the action, the victory. Having an enemy can be very exciting in some cases. This is why war and conflict have existed alongside peace and friendship from the very beginning of creation. This is also why it is important not to judge the dark side. There is not a single human on earth who has not experienced dark urges to some degree. Most of you, by the time you are of adults, have experienced anger, greed, and envy to some extent. You all contain the potential for evil and acts of greed within you. So we encourage you to not judge the dark side, since it is merely another aspect of yourself. Evil beings are simply people who are sensitive to negative emotions and are focusing their consciousness on the self-serving ego. We encourage you to be objective, not biased. Remember that having a bad enemy in some cases can be just as fun as having a good friend. While most souls prefer interactions that are based on equality, there are others who generally prefer superiority. There is part of a creation's infinite diversity. Most of you have been both male and female, good and evil in past lives. You have been a number of many different things. The soul is infinitely versatile, unlimited in flexibility. You can think of your soul as a body of air. If you were to go to Antarctica, you would experience yourself as cold air. If you were to go to the Sahara, you would experience yourself as hot air. You can become air that is high pressure, low pressure, dry, humid, polluted, or rainforest fresh, anything you wish. Your consciousness can attune itself to any experience you can imagine. It might interest you to know that within the Pleiadian alliance, there are beings who can change their gender identity at will. You as humans must wait entire lifetimes to switch between being male or female. There are some of us on other worlds and dimensions who can literally be male in 1 second and become wholly female the next. Masculine expressions are sometimes more suitable in certain situations. Feminine expressions are sometimes more suitable in other situations. According to what situation is at hand and how we wish to react, we can alternate between masculine and feminine expressions. In much higher dimensions, it is even common for beings to alternate their physical form between male and female in the blink of an eye. While you humans wait whole lifetimes for your chance to experience yourself as the opposite gender, some beings regularly change their gender from moment to moment, alternating thousands of times within a single incarnation. They are not bound exclusively to one side of polarity. They are free to switch fluidly back and forth. A long time from now, in the distant future, humanity will gain this ability. Most of you believe that male energy is responsible for all the negativity existing on your planet. We do not agree with this. From our perspective, female energy is equally responsible. The situation on Earth is one of disempowerment. Your governments are like an abusive husband, while the general population is a passive, submissive wife. Are the majority of the people on your planet rebellious? Do they demand equality and fair share between themselves and ruling powers? From our point of view, there is an excess amount of passive female energy among your population. Most of you are highly complacent and compliant, passively giving away your power to government officials and allowing others to control your lives. You are passengers in a vehicle driven by madmen. There's a saying that evil thrives. There's a saying that evil thrives when good people do nothing. Yes, the passive or female energy is greatly part of what perpetuates this problem. This is what allows you to be easily subjugated by malevolent beings. In order to have a society where goods and resources are abundant for all, you must first feel worthy of it. You must desist from complacent, submissive behavior to authority figures and establish relationships based on mutual respect and mutual pleasure. Once humanity becomes collectively assertive, genuinely dignified, and demanding of equality from leaders in a non-aggressive, non-violent manner, This is when you will experience redistribution of power on your world and the true beginnings of a new golden age. And that was such a mouthful. And I probably have a lot that I would like to say added on to that, but it's such a long message already. And I guess I just want to say the Pleiadian prophecy message, and you guys can make your own assumptions from it. Well, thanks to anybody who listened to this far and this resonated with you. I hope that you have a great day and good weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.